Welcome to Married to Movies. Industry insiders John Russell and Tracy Kring live and work happily in cinematrimony. They're sharing behind-the-scenes adventures of writing, producing, and appreciating films.
Good morning, babe.
Good morning, babe.
How are you doing?
I'm lovely.
You made a really yummy trash salad.
It was
omelet.
Total trash salad omelet. The salad that was left over. Does it really even make any sense to put that salad in the refrigerator? Because it just kind of turns into like mush in the refrigerator. So our recipe, folks, is leave the salad out overnight in the air where the elements and rodents can get to it. Then whatever they didn't want.
Well, you can put a lid on it.
I'm not saying that there are rodents
and it
either.
has to be a mainly only lettucey salad.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, you don't want a bunch of like wet stuff in it or whatever. Whatever is left, you put that in your omelet in the morning, and there you go.
I'm not a horrible germaphobe. I do have standards, but
See, that's where you're wrong. Having standards is
you have
a bit of a waste of time.
you have definitely tested my standards before.
Oh, yeah.
One time in an Instant Pot, you left a very expensive roast overnight in the
Yeah,
Instant Pot.
I did. After it was cooked, yeah.
But it was still warm in the Instant Pot, and for some reason I thought, well, it's worth it. It's worth it to assume that the whole time it was actually kind of like in a crock pot.
Right.
Instead of just left out on the counter.
Exactly.
We ate it, and it took like 5 days to eat.
We're not dead.
We didn't die. Even on like trips or on set or something, I will purposefully eat things that have no possibility of hurting my tummy. Like McDonald's.
Right.
I've never gotten food poisoning from a McDonald's.
I would say that that's pretty accurate. Your experiences at McDonald's are so generally mediocre that if you have a good experience at a McDonald's,
It's like a gold standard.
Absolutely.
Like the one up here on our main road, like heading, and I think it's probably almost New Jersey. Man, that is one of the best McDonald's. Everything they have is so good, and they're all provided the same thing. So you see the difference that a human makes, the difference that some human who
quality control.
some person owns this franchise. They care so much. I feel like the employees there are even happier. I feel like it's all trickling down.
You're saying they have better marriages. Their children have higher test scores. Their cars run better.
Dude, the Coke Icy.
That's true.
When you allow yourself the indulgence of a Coca-Cola
Right.
Icy. This McDonald's, it's like their tanks, their CO2 tanks are like, it turns into basically ice cream.
I thought you were going to say taints is what it sounded like at first. If I could see an aura, that McDonald's would glow.
So that actually reminded me, we watched the new season of Project Greenlight.
Oh my God, no!
And I know it's reality TV.
Oh.
I understand how editing works. I'm an editor. I get it.
There is no such thing as that much editing.
And it made me think of that McDonald's because I feel like when you have a director, I feel like so many things trickle down from the top.
So should we explain what Project Greenlight is for people who do not know what Project Greenlight is?
Oh, okay. I never assumed there were people in the world who didn't know.
I think it would really depend upon the age of the person that was listening, how involved in our business they are.
Project Greenlight was originally a show on HBO?
No.
Showtime.
It was not. It was like a Bravo or something like that.
Really?
Yeah. It started. I don't think it doesn't matter.
Hey, Alexa.
Oh, God.
Matt Damon and Ben Affleck start this idea that they're going to, I think the first season was hire a writer.
No, he was a director.
Oh, was the director?
He was a director,
okay.
Yeah.
So they were looking for a director. Did he get to write the script?
I believe it was a writer-director in that one
Okay.
because it was Stolen Summer and he's a writer.
Every year it changes slightly. They give them resources. They have a budget. They help them bring their movie to life.
Their first feature film.
Right. Now they have turned it into, what is this now?
What do you mean? What
Well,
is it?
it's like way more diverse because it was all white people.
Well, yeah.
I mean, let's be honest.
well,
Ben and Matt,
could
and
not
then
be
a
more
white dude director.
So white. Absolutely. Whitest, white. Yes.
Even the fourth season was like Ben and Matt and this white dude director. I mean, so white, he was almost an albino.
When you watch all of the films that have come out of Project Greenlight, which are, one is called Soul in Summer, one is called
Battle of Shaker
Heights, one is called The Leisure Class, and now this last one.
You missed the horror.
Oh, that's true, Feast. So this is fifth.
Feast.
This is the fifth
season, yeah. Gulager's season is probably my favorite.
It's definitely the best film to come out of Project Greenlight.
Well, and Gulager was a good director.
Yeah.
Now, did he make a good movie? Nah.
He had a lot of vision.
Yeah. And that's the thing, that it trickles down from, who's brought on, who's hired as the director. And watching this new season, I was really excited. It was all women.
It was all women. That was the whole point. We had never had a woman director on Project Greenlight.
This new season, the director, Miko.
Yeah, Miko.
But I think she's getting a lot of crap. But honestly, I think she was very much being herself.
Yes.
And
you could tell that in the initial interview.
Right, but does she have the kind of personality that makes for a good director?
Because what happened is they had all 10 directors that were the finalists make the same scene from the movie that they were going to make. Right. So it's sort of like, okay, show us what you're going to do.
I like that it was an equal playing field. And it was just like, who does the best scene? Who has the most connection to it? She tells us that she lost her mother 18 months ago. And this is a mother-daughter story. And I think because maybe she's still in grief, maybe that's a complication. I feel like she avoided the mother-daughter stuff, which this whole movie is based on. The notes and the feedback from script to screen were always the neglected mother-daughter relationship.
All the way through the whole season. Everybody was like, there's problems with the script. There's problems with the script. The script needs work. The script needs work.
There's this dude, Phil, and he's writing the script. And I don't know where the script originally came from. I don't know if Phil actually wrote it or if he was just brought on to rewrite.
I think they found it on the side of the road at Marvel. It was like Marvel threw it out the window. All right, yeah, okay.
Well, it's one of those Brightburn vibes.
Yeah,
where it's
but nowhere near as good.
Superhero movie outside of the universes.
It was just so rehab, and I don't care if it's superpowers and all this type of thing. If the characters are interesting,
her situation and where she was at emotionally kind of trickled down. It created a block because when she's
like the McDonald's, but the opposite.
Well, when she's
she would have a really lousy McDonald's.
Yeah, she would. She would be a very boring McDonald's.
Yeah.
She had a hard time maybe rallying troops. There were issues on set and she wasn't at the head of fixing them. Her first AD was going a little wacko, and she really wasn't pulling him back and reminding him of the values that we have on set. I think she had the talent.
The lady who directed...
The director from The Woman King was fascinating.
Yeah, she said she had talent. She was one of her mentors.
She was a big fan of hers.
Yes, she was.
Big fan. And I feel like the director opened up more to the director of The Woman King.
Yeah.
I feel like they had what relationship she should have had with everyone, but she really only had it with them.
When there would be meetings with different people, you would get different versions of Miko.
Well, she would almost be passive-aggressively not interested.
Oh, God, yes.
They're saying, well, we don't understand this. And she's like, well, if you don't understand that, that's a you problem, not a me problem.
Yeah, and then the editor had a sound come in like, ooh.
Boom.
and then you cut to the guy like, what the fuck did you just say to me?
The issues that existed in the script never got fixed. And while I was watching it, I was just thinking of so many ideas. And so many times during the show, I would turn to you and just say, this is not a creative person.
Right.
She is blocked.
Right.
Her creativity is not flowing out. People would ask her, well, do you have an idea to how should we fix this? Do you have an idea? And she could never come up with an idea on the spot, even if it was a bad idea.
Well, one of the real complaints of the film was that it felt very insular. It felt very much like almost...
There were only 3 speaking characters.
Well, I understand. And you can do that. But the terminology that was used was that it felt like a long short film. And that was absolutely accurate. You could do like you take the A24 film Room, for example.
That does not feel like a short film.
No, and it doesn't feel insular.
No.
Even though it's just them.
Because, like, even though they're in that room, and that could feel like a short film, as soon as they get out of it, we have other characters, we have, paparazzi, we have a world. She's interacting with more than 2 or 3 people.
Right.
And this film had so few characters, and they kept saying that the Man in Black character was a problem. The Man in Black character was a problem, and his motivation was a problem. And I had really, because I hadn't seen the film, I had no idea. I thought he was like one of 20 characters, No, he's like the 3rd character. You have a problem with the Man in Black and the mother-daughter character. And now having
That's
watched
everyone.
the film. Well, and had I had that information and I was looking at the script, I would have said, excuse me, guys, so why are we choosing this script?
Yeah.
Like, how much can you actually fix? Like, if the mother-daughter relationship is a problem.
Here's what it is. It screamed, we only have this much money to make this movie.
But I think that's bullshit.
It is bullshit. It's total bullshit. I mean, $3.5 million?
You could have made a one character Castaway.
Can I name like 10 movies that cost less than $3.5 million that look fantastic and they have giant worlds in them?
Well, those dudes who filmed in a car.
What about them?
Cosmos.
What about that movie Monsters, where they are traveling from Honduras and the alien invasion came, and that led to all of the Cloverdale movies and all of that.
Scope should not be an issue.
Has nothing to do with. We made a $15,000 movie that is coming out on Random Media, by the way, called Girl in the Palms. Check it out. It looks, in my opinion, better than Gray Matter did.
It's definitely set in a world.
Yes, it's set in a world.
I mean, and it's not just about wide shots. It's about, I don't understand why they chose that script, period. There were probably thousands of other great scripts with a mother-daughter base that would have been amazing.
They wanted something that was kind of, in that A24 Blumhouse vibe where it was pretty much one location. And I don't have a problem with that. Well, we can't spend the whole podcast talking about it. I could. And I could spend the next podcast talking about it too.
And I could spend 5 podcasts talking about it. And I definitely suggest you track down Project Greenlight.
Yes.
If you're in film, if you're a filmmaker and you've never seen this series, you absolutely should.
Slow motion car crash.
Well, one of my absolute favorite scenes in any Project Greenlight was when the DP was fuck you.
That was such a dick move.
They had an explosion and the DP wanted it done a certain way, and he got overridden, so he just sabotaged the camera at the end.
It was such a dick move.
He was such a dick.
He's like, this looks like such a common shot. Why do we even need this explosion? I'm like, no, we need this explosion. And he just knocked the camera.
He literally knocks into the camera, so it's unusable.
It was such a dick move.
Well, and that's what people tend to do on set when they get pissed, instead of actually confront and rectify things. And that's why you have to be on the lookout for any kind of deep breaths.
Right.
Really. Right. Anytime anything happens and you hear you got to go track that shit down.
That's interesting.
Because they will sabotage.
The heavy sigh is an indicator that fuckery is afoot.
Yeah, anytime I hear, or there's certain things I will hear and I will immediately go and address. It's hey, excuse me, what's the problem?
Can we make a movie called Fuckery is Afoot?
This is our 25th episode. But honestly, I may make it our 3rd episode because I feel other episodes I'm going to switch up the order in which we actually recorded them.
Okay.
To mix a new one with an older one because we just launched, as of 2 episodes ago. And I had heard a statistic several times. The idea is that most podcasts end at the 3rd episode.
Right.
people just abandon it. Like, they're like, oh, nobody's listening, I'm done. And then there is a period that the next episodes are like 10. Most people quit around 10.
They'll quit around 10, yeah.
And the statistic I heard recently was 21. If you can make it to your 21st, you're in the top percentile.
You're in the top 1%. You're in Jeff Bezos territory, motherfuckers.
This being our 25th episode, even though they haven't come out, they will be coming out. I just want to say congratulations on 25. We are in the top percentile, but I do think I'm going to move this up to an earlier slot.
But this is just going to be third now.
Yeah, I think this will be third. And I may also move up the ones having to do with like the union strikes and stuff.
Oh, sure, that makes sense.
And I just heard this morning maybe IATSE's going to throw in.
Right.
And shut down Broadway.
Right.
And I'm like, shut it all down, motherfuckers. Shut this shit down. Like, there's so much that has to be fixed, and there's so much shame associated with, like, I love that I'm seeing actors coming out on social media and TikTok and stuff and talking about Bethany Frankel, talking about she made $7,200. She got paid $7,200 to be in the first season of Real Housewives of New York.
Right.
You know, she's never made another dime off of that show. And people watch that show all the time.
Okay, so I'm not limiting anything, okay? And it's nothing like what women experienced with the Me Too movement. But this is a similar kind of a thing. This is a shame that artists have felt, and a frustration, and a injustice.
I spoke to someone recently. We were talking about this, about the shame associated with how little we get in return from distributors and from streaming services, and how little they're paying our distributors. Therefore, our distributors are paying us so little.
Right.
And, you know, we're trying to get people to invest and people to believe that we have a marketable quotient.
Right.
And while we do, it's difficult to prove to people that you can make them their money back.
Right.
Because the system is fucking rigged to not give you your money back.
Thanks to our sponsor, Movie Mode Merch, the graphic t-shirt store to outfit you for your next film set. Be the person wearing the t-shirt everyone asks, hey, where'd you get that shirt? Cast and crew alike love these inside jokes and filmmaking-inspired designs. Check them out on Insta at Movie Mode Merch.
We've always felt like, okay, the system is rigged for us.
No, it's not.
We're like way down the totem pole. We're like these filmmakers, you know, making these zero-budget features.
We should just be lucky to get our films out.
Exactly.
No.
But what we're discovering is that the system is rigged all the way up.
Several times this has happened where we have chosen a distributor, we've signed a contract with them. They have sold out their entire catalog and gone out of business. And one time they sold out their entire catalog to The Orchard, which is a Sony company.
Huge company. Right.
And I never signed a contract with Orchard.
No, we didn't even know it.
Right. I didn't even know it happened.
For years we didn't know
Why is that allowed to happen?
Because it is.
Yeah, it shouldn't be.
But see, that's the thing. When you don't have regulations...
I feel like there is a sleight of hand.
Oh, God, yes.
That contracts even.
3-card Monty, folks. That's what all of it is.
You know, I was listening to Alyssa Milano. Love her.
Right.
Mandy Moore's come out too, talking about more modern shows. But Alyssa was talking about Charmed and how, you know, yes, they got paid like industry standard pay. Negotiated pay.
Absolutely. And in the later seasons, you know, the pay goes up. Absolutely.
Well, hold on. But Charmed also had like a syndication. Right? And it might be on the CW, and then it might switch to the WB, and then it might switch around to all these different television stations. But now that it's streaming...
Right.
There's no residuals anymore.
No residuals.
Because the streaming services say, well, how are we going to prove who watched Charmed episode 2?
Right.
How are we going to prove that? How do we know that? They know.
That's the thing. Know. That's the thing. There's basically this, like, deniability that is not plausible, folks, that the streaming services do not know who is watching their shows when they are watching them.
Well, they know enough to know what ads to put on for you.
That's a good point.
They know enough to say, oh, we're going to play this ad for this person and not this ad.
Yeah, I'm just wondering how that meeting goes, where it's like a Squid Game comes out, everybody's talking about Squid Game, and the head of Netflix, sits down with the board and goes, "Okay, well, so how are we doing with Squid Game?" And everybody in the room goes, "I don't know. I have no idea. It seems like it's really popular, but
A lot of people are talking about it, but
it's getting a lot of buzz. I just wish we knew who is actually watching and how many people are watching it. That would be really great information to have."
yes, good point. Good point. I'm sure they even know, like, the moment to moment, what people even like.
Of course they do.
Based on, like, where they're pausing. I mean, I know that Netflix is watching what I'm watching because it asks me, do I want to keep watching? I mean, this shit is so... They think we are fucking stupid. And I love all, James Van Der Beek. So many people are coming out and saying this is bullshit. And, we're not even talking about reality show people.
No.
People who get paid the bare minimum. And honestly, it's their original content. It's coming out of them. It's not been written for them. They're coming up with it. They should be credited as writers.
Okay, so I saw a statistic, and see, this is a thing where maybe people...
We're not talking about docs either.
No. Maybe people who are conservative or people who don't like Hollywood, who don't like what Hollywood stands for or whatever, are like, well, fuck them. Bunch of liberals, who cares? What difference does it make to me? I'll tell you what difference it makes to you.
What are you going to watch after dinner,
the
bitch?
The United States, for generations, has been pretty much the entertainment mecca of the world. Mm-hmm. And when it all comes down to it, there are basically two things that the United States puts out probably better than almost any country: weapons and entertainment. And I believe I saw a statistic that approximately 30% of all jobs have some connection to entertainment.
Oh, I bet.
I mean, do you understand that? 30% of the gross national product of our country has some sort of connection to entertaining the masses and entertaining the world. So this stuff fucking matters.
I would like to interject. How the hell are they going to sell their goods or services without what became streaming?
That's a good point.
Who's actually going to choose Charmin over Angel Soft without a commercial? Like, who?
That's a good point.
I may buy Charmin because I've been influenced several times.
Right.
But I was watching a show.
Sure.
During that time.
Right.
To get influenced. And I mean, that's the whole basis of television, period.
Well, in the 1950s, shows were actually paid for by the advertiser. This is a fight over a fundamental injustice in capitalism, folks. That's what this is.
No, it's like a literal workers' strike of Norma Ray proportions.
This is French Revolution shit.
The person that I was talking to, they were saying to me, yeah, I've gotten totally fucked every single time, but I can't tell people that.
Right.
I can't tell people that because I have to look successful to my investors.
Right. You look like an idiot by admitting the truth. This really is going to demystify the entertainment industry.
And remove the layer of shame. The layer of shame that I'm Mandy Moore, and while she makes a shit ton more than other people, she doesn't make what you think she makes. Mm-hmm. Several layers down from Mandy Moore, you have to make $26,000 a year to maintain your health coverage.
Right.
And I've had SAG actors tell me, please cast me in this because I'm trying to maintain my benefits.
We had somebody who listened to the podcast. Apparently she teaches podcasts. It was so just wonderfully satisfying when she sent back her comments, which were like, oh my God, there were so many one-liners. Why did we never think of the fact that Batman should have had a crease in his face where his mask was? And all of these things that we had said that I absolutely do not remember at all.
Oh, I think the crease in your face was the CPAP machine.
Probably so, yeah.
Like where your gear makes a crease in your face.
Yes,
and
exactly.
You were like, how come Batman never has creases on his face?
Why I do what I do, the satisfaction that I get from it, is when somebody speaks back to me something that they found entertaining or uplifting or thought-provoking, or where you have had an impact. You have creased their brain a little bit. And it's better than money. It's better than fame. It's better than really anything. And it's really the only thing in my mind that you're guaranteed as an artist.
Well, I think that it is better than money, but you should be able to have a living wage
Absolutely.
for creating that.
I agree.
Once you get your movie on Netflix or Tubi or Prime or, Pluto or Plex or Hulu or what else? Showtime, HBO, Stars, Encore.
You could name them all day.
I have the paperwork to back this up. One of the films that we distributed had a line item on it for the American film market. Mm-hmm. Now, the film, basically the distributor, the people you've given your film to and licensed it to for them to go out and distribute it to places, they had a line item on there of like $20,000 to take it to film markets. Like this one film market. And that's where like a bunch of people can see it and maybe pick it up. Well,
first of all, that happens every quarter.
Every quarter, they charge me $20,000 for this.
Right, to take it to different film markets around the world.
Hold on. They're not just taking my film.
Oh, no.
They're taking their entire catalog.
They're taking 100 films. They're taking 500 films.
So they're making a lot of money off of charging me $20,000 to be one of 20.
Right.
I think American Film Market probably only cost, I don't even know if it costs $20,000 period to take 20 films to.
Know.
But they don't have to justify that to me.
No, they don't.
So every time that they give me a line itemized, expenditures report, I'm looking at every single line and saying, look at all this money they've made and look at all this money they're saying it cost to make it. And it's bullshit.
It is.
It's bullshit.
It is.
And I'm just saying, I see you.
It's thievery.
I see you, and I'm not going to stay quiet. And quite honestly, as filmmakers, we should probably just all start, more of a music model where we all just start fucking Wild Westing this shit and selling it ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that's what
and cut them completely
I think
out.
That's what people are doing in things like Tubi and things like that, where there are places where people are
where you can aggregate your own film,
right? Where you can right, exactly.
But even those
I'm
places
aggravated by all this aggregation.
Even those they take different percentages.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
No, the most money I ever make off of my film is premieres, just like music. They make money off of concerts. I make money off of premieres.
It is a wonderful business. I probably will never get out of it. I love what we're able to
Well, there are a lot of people
create.
Having to abandon it.
Oh, God, yes.
Because they can't make money,
Of
especially
course.
editors. I literally saw a job come up for a up to 30-minute finished product,
Right.
video, $25.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all trickling down from the head of the McDonald's, And right now I'm saying not only do I not have a Coke Icy that's so foamy that it's almost ice cream, I don't even have I don't even have a flat Coke.
Yeah.
I got an empty cup.
All we have is the most useless thing, which is when you get one of those Cokes and they haven't put the syrup in it. And it looks like it's Coke.
Yucky carbonated
and
water.
It's just carbonated water.
It just tastes like what they clean the lines with.
It's brown carbonated water, folks. That's what we've got in this business right now. There's no shame in admitting what has happened to you. Admitting you were
That's what the system wants.
Admitting you were bamboozled.
That's what the system wants. That's what abusers count on. Mm-hmm. They count on your shame and your fear.
Right.
They count on that.
Yes. And we have been in abusive relationships, filmmakers, and we keep saying, well, maybe it'll be better tomorrow. Let me just not piss off, the business, and maybe they won't hit me again. That's what's been happening, okay? At different levels for different people.
And we can't be ashamed about that.
No. The shame is in the system. The shame isn't in you. I think Fran Drescher has really kind of brought that
Love
home.
her. I mean,
oh my God, yes.
I've been a fan since The Nanny. I've always thought she was awesome.
I was not a fan of The Nanny,
I
but
love
that's
The
okay.
Nanny.
That's okay.
But Fran is killing it. There's those moments in time you've heard said of male presidents, that moments in time where men were called up to do the work that they were meant to do.
Called up by God.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the moments in history where, you had to have, this president at the helm. And I would say that's a moment for Fran.
She's Zelenskying this shit, folks.
She is killing it. I think everybody is supporting her. I think everybody is rallying around. It's really inspiring to see. And I love her righteous indignation.
Absolutely.
She's pissed for a reason.
Absolutely. You are our partners, and you're treating us like this. We never thought we would be treated the way you're... If you want some righteous indignation, read the responses and all the rejections of very common things.
Oh, yeah.
I think my favorite is basically the union was like, please pay us on time, or if you're not, let there be penalties for, paying us very late. And the AMPTP responded, we acknowledge that we've been paying you very late. We will not pay you on time, and there will be no penalties. So...
Yeah. Well, and
that's like saying, yes, I am an abusive husband. I have hit you, but I'm not going to stop.
No, my bank really loves hearing that excuse when I go to pay my mortgage and they want my mortgage and you know what? No, I know you want my payment on time, but I'm going to pay you late and I'm not going to pay any penalties for it.
There's a guy There's a guy on Facebook who was an extra in Ant-Man and the Wasp. Ant-Man and the Wasp. That thing came out like a year and a half ago.
And he's never been paid.
He has not been paid.
Oh, I'm not surprised at all.
What is that person supposed to do? They're going to call SAG and say, I'm still waiting on my money. Okay, that's fine. Give us a couple of weeks and we'll, check back.
What's that going to do? Pay this extra his money?
They can't do anything.
Pay this extra his money.
Thank you.
That was my John Malkovich.
It was. Pay that man his money.
In Rounders?
Yes, in Rounders.
That was
absolutely.
my attempt.
Trying to think of his name, the character's name. It was like a name like his name was Moscow or his name
Russia.
Russia. It was something like his name was Kami Khrushchev. That was his name. Kami Khrushchev.
I think we should probably cut that. Let's just point out to the editor.
Why? Why do we have to cut that?
I think that's bigoted.
Why is that bigoted? You're talking...
You called him a commie.
No.
That's not...
Commie is referring to a type of political affiliation.
Well,
you can't say a political affiliation.
Derogatory
it's
way.
not a derogatory
we don't,
way.
Yeah, I think that's inappropriate. I'm going to vote that we do edit that out.
I'm really hoping we don't edit this, folks.
Can we not get canceled already? Can we not get canceled already?
Can't think of his name.
Well,
it's like
it has no
Johnny or something.
Anyway, we got to end this.
Alexa, who did John Malkovich play in Rounders? What was the character's name?
John Malkovich plays a Russian mobster and ace poker player named Teddy KGB.
Maybe we'll just cut to the Alexa thing. KGB, is that right?
Teddy KGB.
I always think that I'm saying J when I say G and vice versa.
Really?
Yeah, I have a hard time with that.
Oh my gosh, that's weird. All right.
That's not that weird.
It's a little weird.
Don't say that.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not insulting you.
Whenever we
saying it's weird.
Whenever we give the dogs a treat from the fridge and it's called a HOTW. See, what is that? Why do I do W?
HOTD.
I always say W.
Why do you say W?
I don't know.
Well, I mean...
Is that a sign that I'm dyslexic?
I don't know, but I would be very interested in a hot wog.
Hot wogs. They did not, yeah.
They don't understand what a hot wog is.
A hot wog?
Hot wog.
I don't know why I do that either.
Can we have t-shirts?
Hot wogs?
Hot wog t-shirts.
Sure.
That's a good t-shirt.
Sure. We actually did launch Movie Mode merch, too.
Yes, that's true.
At the same time, so...
Well, Movie Mode merch is
honestly,
our sponsor.
I'm trying to figure
No
out...
affiliation.
No affiliation. I'm trying to figure out how to promote these things. So if you have found this podcast, congratulations.
Exactly. And go out and have yourself a hot wog with sauerkraut.
Why do I do that?
It's hard not to get romantic about movies. Thanks for listening to Married to Movies. John and Tracy will meet you for breakfast tomorrow. Thanks to our sponsor, Movie Mode Merch, comfortable graphic tees made by and for awesome filmmakers to wear on set and off. Check them out on Insta at Movie Mode Merch.